What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of the Gears Cast. Welcome everyone to the Gears Cast, the best Gears of War podcast here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. Before we start the Gears Cast, guys, I wanted to talk to all of you about something I'm really excited about and something I've been working on for quite some time. I am bringing back a team that I was with from the very beginning of the inception of this team, that being Major Militia. I'm super excited about it, guys. Major Militia started off as a Call of Duty trick-shotting and sniping team back in September 24th of 2014. Feels like a long time ago, guys. The team started by SB Sway. Obviously, he was one of the founders, of course, of Spacebound Universe. Obviously, Sway started, he started Major Militia as kind of like a passion project, and I came on very early in the very early stages of it being started. I feel like Major was something really special, not only to so many other people that were a part of the team, but it was really special to me as well. SB Sway, God rest his soul, what an incredible visionary when it came to the Call of Duty scene as a whole. He had founded, like I said, Spacebound Universe. They ended up getting up to over 100,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel. They transitioned over time into more entertainment-based content, and Major got up to around 10,000 subscribers, and that's where I ended up. Actually, there was a number of things that happened over the course of time that we were with Major, or I was with Major. I made some mistakes with the team. I actually ended up joining a couple other, gaming organizations, and I would come back to Major, but then ultimately, guys, the channel was actually stolen from us, and it was hacked, as you could say, and so no longer do we have the OG channel. But that being said, we're starting it up and we're bringing back Major after all of these years officially on a new YouTube channel. And what this team is going to be, guys, even though Call of Duty is really what was at the roots of Major Militia, we're still going to keep our handprint in Call of Duty in a number of ways. But this team is going to be more of a content team. We're going to be creating a lot of content on Major Militia. And so it's going to be a lot of content creators, specifically in the Gears of War universe, guys. And Gears of War as a whole, obviously, I'm a massive Gears of War fan. I have actually really pledged my YouTube channel to Gears of War and trying to really bring this game into the forefront as a massive, not only game but esport and all of those things, especially when we saw that Gears Esports was shut down by the coalition. I felt that it was a real call to really create change, instill something special in the Gears of War community. And I think that not only me creating content on my YouTube channel, but also creating or bringing back Major Militia as not only a content team, but also a Gears of War team. I'm so excited about the future, guys, of Major Militia and what we're going to be doing here over the next number of months, years, things of that nature. I'm really excited about it. We are going to be picking up a Gears of War team without question, guys. Obviously, with the excitement of the Gears of War collection, Gears 6, things of that nature, I'm really excited about that. Of course, we're not going to forget about the past, that being, the Call of Duty world. We're going to see how we can fit into some of these other esports and some of these other ecosystems as we go along the journey, but we're going to be starting off with content and Gears of War, and I'm really excited to be bringing that out to all of you. Those of you who are interested in joining the team, there's going to be a very rigorous recruitment process when it comes to that. But for those of you who are interested, you can certainly be reaching out on social media and things of that nature. Obviously, guys, you'll be able to check out Major Militia's YouTube channel. That will be in the description down below. You guys will be able to find us on social media. You can find the official Major Militia Twitter account, also the Major Militia Gears of War team's Twitter account as well. And as we continue to grow, I'm really excited to be bringing more and more content to all of you as we go. More ways you can connect with us, but more ways that you can connect specifically with content as well as the Gears of War community. That being said, though, guys, I'm really excited for Major Militia. This is a team, a real passion for me, and I'm extremely excited about what the future holds with Major. So with that being said, guys, I'm so excited that Major is back. Lots of things that are going to be coming in the foreseeable future. Let's get into the show. It's an exciting time to be a part of the Gears community, even though when one door closes, another one opens. And what I'm getting at here, guys, is obviously with the Gears esports scene that being announced that it's going to be shutting down, at least for the foreseeable future. And obviously the coalition is not necessarily actively working on new things for Gears 5. They're moving on to other things. There are still, to be said, a lot of exciting things happening behind the scenes with Gears of War. Even though there's not anything that's been officially confirmed yet, there's a lot of rumbling, speculation, and excitement that is coming. And that's part of the reason, guys, why I'm bringing back Major. Obviously, Major Militia has been a massive passion of mine over the years as being not only a content team, but something that, I feel I was really a part of from the very beginning. When Major Militia started back in September 24th of 2014, Sway started the team, and then he recruited me as a co-leader on the team on October 1st of 2014, and together we were able to build that team up to around 10,000 subscribers. Obviously, mistakes were made along the journey, but part of the reason why I'm bringing back Major after all of these years is because not only the brand that we had started, and I want to continue that into the future. But I feel like it was a staple for certain, levels of content when it came to Call of Duty, and now we're going to be bringing that into Gears of War in that universe, which I'm incredibly excited about. But with that being said, with Gears of War, some of the things that are coming out, it's the perfect time, I felt, with a lot of things at all-time lows with Gears of War. How can we push the bar to bring us back and make Gears of War a sustainable game that we all love and appreciate for the long foreseeable future, like we have in games like Call of Duty and games of that nature? So let's talk, guys, about one of the big things people are talking about. The Gears of War collection is being something that's being talked about a lot right now. A Master Chief Collection-esque type of ordeal happening, just in the Gears of War universe, though. That being said, let's talk about it, guys. This is going to be coming to us from an article from GameSpot, and Eddie Makic, who went ahead, guys, and states Gears of War getting the MCC style collection, which is a report, guys. So Microsoft is developing a Halo the Master Chief Collection style compilation package themed around Gears of War, according to a new report. Nick Baker of Xbox Era revealed this on a podcast recently. A while back, I said there's another Microsoft franchise that's getting the Master Chief Collection type treatment. I am of the belief that that is coming this year, Baker said, adding that this will be Gears of War. The package contains all mainline Halo titles, obviously, guys, that we're talking about the MCC here, including remastered versions of Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2, full multiplayer support, Forge Theater, and more. The game is available on Xbox Game Pass for all subscribers. It remains to be seen what a Gears of War theme package might include, but presumably it would feature the main Gears of War series titles. A remastered version of the original Gears of War was released in 2015. Though whether or not any additional titles would be remastered remains to be seen. The latest entry in the series was 2019's Gears 5. A source told VGC that Gears of War developer The Coalition is in the early stages of the next Gears of War game, but whether or not it's Gears of War 6 or something else remains unknown. The Coalition is making at least 2 new games right now, but they have not been announced. One is not a Star Wars game, though. Intriguingly, Gears 6 was among the titles featured in the big NVIDIA leak, and many of the titles mentioned in the leak have since proven to be real. Also, Microsoft did not buy the Gears of War series from Epic to stop making Gears of War, so of course more games are coming. And so I'm going to, jump in here, guys. I think that this is obviously Microsoft purchasing, the rights and such to Gears of War. Obviously, they're not going to stop just making Gears of War titles. They're probably just kind of going back to the drawing board, figuring out what they did right, wrong, and what they can do better moving forward with the Coalition. This really reminds me a lot, guys, of what happened when Bungie moved on from Halo and the reins were taken up by 343 Industries. If we remember this, 343, when their first title in the Halo universe was really Halo 5. And Halo 5, guys, had a lot of backlash. There was tons of stuff that they were saying needed to be, there were things that needed to be fixed, and there was a lot of issues, behind the scenes, and it was very clear. And you could say, a lot of people have said that Halo 5 was really the dark ages of Halo. And, on the flip side of that, we look at Gears of War, and I look at, obviously, Epic Games were the ones who, created the first titles in Gears of War's history, and those were incredible, iconic for the most part. Judgment Day, wasn't, in my mind, something that, obviously I felt like that was more the dark ages of Gears was when we got to Judgment Day. But that being said, you get the Coalition and something similar to what was going on with Halo. With 343, they get the game. They get Gears of War 4, which comes out, and Gears of War 4 I thought was really good, but a lot of people thought that there could have been things that they could have, done better. Gears 5 comes out, and that had definitely some more backlash to it. But what I'm getting at here is it's taken a couple of games, really, it's felt like, for 343 Industries to get it right. We get to Halo Infinite, and there you go. Halo Infinite seems to be, they're off to the races. Obviously, there's issues behind the scenes still with that, as there are with any AAA title, but Halo is back 100% in my personal opinion. I feel like now with Gears 6, if you are given the proper amount of time, a Gears of War collection, I think that, the Coalition is going to get it right. And that's what, kind of the moral of this is. I think that it just may take a couple of games sometimes, especially when you're taking an iconic franchise and it's going from, one set of hands to another set of hands. It's a difficult task to really live up to that hype and to what, the game has become as a whole, and how, all of the, everything that goes behind the scenes, guys, is something that the Coalition, I feel, they've done a pretty good job of, even though there have been certainly issues along the way. I don't put it all on the Coalition, I put it on the Gears community as well, but that's a conversation for another day. But with that being said, with Starfield and Redfall delayed to 2023, Microsoft does not have much in terms of first-party exclusives set for 2022. So a Gears of War Collection could fill the gap if it is indeed real. If the Gears of War Collection is indeed real, one possible forum for its announcement could be the Xbox and Bethesda Summer Showcase in June. And I agree with that 100%. I think that not even so much that it could be, a bridge for other Microsoft titles, that being like Starfield and Redfall, but I think it could be a bridge to Gears 6. So if we got Gears of War's collection, let's say here in 2022 or 2023, and then Gears 6 comes out in 2024 or 2025, this will be that bridge between Gears 5 to Gears 6, and Gears of War's collection, I think could be something really special. I just don't want the Gears of War collection to come out and then we don't get a Gears 6 for a number of years, like a long withstanding, amount of time, because the community is, fine with living in the past or being reminiscent of the past, which is totally fine, guys. But if we don't get the future of Gears, that being Gears 6, I think we're going to be there's going to be problems along the way. And I think that the Coalition may move on to other games if totally new IPs is what I'm getting at. Gears 6 needs to happen, guys, and we have got to echo that into existence. But the Gears of War collection, I'm totally down for it, guys. I think it could be a great bridge to Gears 6. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think about the Gears of War collection? Are you excited about it? When do you think it's going to come out? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Gears of War collection content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. So Gears Esports is getting shut down, guys, and although it's a very sad ordeal, at least for me, because I believe that Gears Esports is the best esport in the world. It's my favorite to watch. I think it's incredible from a number of different fronts. I think it's the best third-person shooter that's ever been made, guys. I think it's the best third-person esport ever made as well. And although I'm saddened by the news that it's getting shut down for at least the foreseeable future, I think there's some things that we can take from this that show some promise. And so what I'm getting at is a couple of things. Number one, even though Gears Esports is getting shut down for now, I don't believe that that means it's going to be shut down forever. So what I'm getting at is, number one, the Master Chief Collection or the Gears of War Collection. It sounds like we're going to be getting the Gears of War Collection, guys, which I think is going to be something that's really special. A MCC, Master Chief Collection, esque type of collection from the Coalition, from Gears of War. And I'm very excited about that. What could that lead to, though? Could that lead to the esports scene being greenlit again, where the competition comes in, whether it's for, it's hard to say which game is it going to be that the esports scene would revolve around. Would it revolve around Gears of War 1, 2, 3? Which one is it going to be? It is a really tough thing. But that being said, I think there's some promise that's shown, of course, with the Gears of War collection. Number 2, obviously, is going to be Gear 6. So Gear 6 is probably not coming out until 2024, 2025. It sounds like the Gears of War collection is going to be coming out either here in 2022, as the reports are coming out, or in 2023. So it could be that bridge to Gear 6. So could the Gears of War collection just be, obviously something that's very competitive that people are going to be playing, but it's not necessarily going to have, we're not going to have events like we did with Gears of War 4 and Gears 5 from the Coalition. Maybe there's smaller events that are put on by the community and things of that nature. I'll certainly be wanting to get my hands on helping out in that regard, guys, for sure, to create some tournaments and stuff if they don't do this from, the Coalition's perspective. But Gears 6, I think, is really where we may have the Coalition come back into the fray with the Gears esports scene. And if that does happen, I'm incredibly excited about that. Now, there's a couple of things with that, though, guys. I feel like this is our last chance as a community to really get Gears esports back up off the ground. Because obviously now, a lot of the pro players who are, no longer going to have a job, if that was their full-time job, being a pro player for Gears of War esports, I'm hoping that we've learned our lesson that obviously, asking for insane salaries, in the Gears of War scene, you can't do it until the scene has been built in a certain way, right? And obviously, I'm all for the players getting paid and such, but if they're not creating content for their organizations that they're a part of, if they're not streaming and things of that nature on a consistent basis, a lot of these things is just unsustainable. And we saw so many teams end up leaving the Gears of War scene because the players are asking for so much and the viewership just wasn't there. We've got to really work on building this scene for the future. And I think that, could that really start if we all do our part with Gears of War's collection? I absolutely think so. If we all start really pitching in to create content, or if you don't create content, supporting your favorite creators, supporting your favorite streamers, I think is going to be really important moving forward. We can do this, guys, and I think that Gears Esports can come back, and it can be a sustainable ordeal, not something that just lasts for a few years. I think that it's something that can be, sustainable for the long term. I look at games like Call of Duty, I look at games like CSGO and Valorant, Fortnite, all these games that are way up there, right, that are doing incredible things right now. Not that Gears of War will get to that level. I would love to see it happen. I believe it could get to that level, but even if it could get to, back to where Halo's level is, or, eclipse Halo's levels, I think that's something that's very sustainable and something that we could definitely do if we as a community have learned our lesson about the backlash towards the Coalition and such, and the Coalition has learned from their mistakes as well. I think that this could be a sustainable ecosystem for sure. We just got to play our part, guys, and I think that with the Gears of War collection, sounds like that could be something that could be coming out here in 2022. That could be the real starting point of us really building that relationship again with the Coalition. That could really lead us into Gear 6, which is where I think that they would put, their stamp on Gears Esports, seeing as, maybe they want to see how Gears of War's collection does from a competitive perspective, or from just a sales perspective as well. I think they're going to be looking at that before really looking to Gear 6. So obviously Gear 6 sounds like it's being worked on behind the scenes right here, right now. Obviously the Coalition's also working on another new IP that we don't know about. But I think that it's very important, guys, that we as the community stick together and we echo the things in existence that we want echoed into existence, that being the esports scene. We want this to come back, guys, but we've really got to, I think there has to be a much better, communication with the Coalition on all things esports, guys, and competition, and even with the game, things that they can do to fix the game and things of that nature. There's a certain way that you have to go about doing that, saying it, and I'm really excited about what that looks like in the future. But what do you guys think? Do you think that Gears Esports is done forever, or do you think it will come back at some point or another? And do you think it'll come back with the Gears of War collection or with Gear 6? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Gears of War content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. So with the reports coming out about the Gears of War collection, I wanted to talk, guys, about how we as a community, if it's true that Gears of War's collection is going to be coming out later this year or in, 2023 at some point, I want to talk about how we as the community can help grow the Gears of War scene. And I think that there's a couple of things, guys, that we can be doing and implementing. And I'm not saying that they're necessarily easy things. I'm also not saying that they're super hard things to do. I think there are things that are easy to do, but easy not to do at the same time. So let's talk about it. So with that being said, guys, the Gears of War collection. This is something I'm excited about. I think that a lot of people are talking about it right now, an MCC-esque type of collection like what they got in Halo with the Master Chief collection. I think this is something that we've been wanting as a community. Obviously, my biggest hesitation towards it has been, where obviously if the Coalition brings out the Master Chief collection, or I should say the Gears of War collection, is that something that is going to be a bridge to Gear 6, or is it going to replace Gear 6? And that's been my biggest, issue with this, happening potentially. It sounds like Gear 6 is definitely coming. Obviously, guys, Rod Ferguson, who was the studio head at the Coalition, confirmed a Gear 6, a Gear 7, as well as a Gears of War movie, and which is awesome, which I think that Microsoft buying the rights from Epic Games for Gears of War, I feel like they've got this plan, right? For the extended period, for the future for Gears of War, right? So I feel like they definitely have a plan for Gears, and so Gears 6 makes sense that it comes out. This is one of Microsoft's biggest titles, right? Probably behind Halo and maybe Forza, but I feel like Gears of War could very well be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, on Xbox for sure. So with that being said, how can we help continue growing the scene? Number one, guys, is in my mind, when it comes to tradition, let's just talk about traditional sports for a second. Traditional sports, and I'll bring this back to Gears of War. Traditional sports, when you watch traditional sports, what are the things that help with ticket sales for traditional sports? Obviously, guys, winning, right? If your team is winning, you're going to sell more tickets, that being the team that you watch, right? If you watch, let's say you watch Barcelona or Manchester United, if those teams are doing really well, they're going to sell more and more tickets, more merchandise, things of that nature. On the flip side of that, with esports, on an esports front and just gaming perspective, it's not so much, if you're winning or losing, it's more the content. It's all about content in esports and gaming, guys. So one of the biggest ways that we can help grow the scene for Gears of War is content creation. There needs to be more content creators, guys, in Gears of War. There has to be a lot of you out there love Gears of War, but some of you may just not create content or you don't know where to start. To me, guys, even putting gameplay out there on YouTube, on Twitch, those are ways that's creating content, right? You may not have to show your face and become like a full-blown, personality and content creator, but just creating content in some way, shape, or form, putting it out there is going to becomes infectious. More and more people start doing it, right? And so content creation to me is the number one way for us to help build the scene. If we don't create content or you don't, stream the game, supporting your favorite content creators and your favorite streamers is going to be the number one way, right? And with Gears Esports, obviously, guys, we want to, before Gears Esports gets shut down, we want to make that something really special, so I think from a viewership perspective, we need to be watching that and be excited for the Gears Esports scene, because we're hoping that it comes back at some point. We have to be the change we want to see in the world, right? And that's part of the reason why I'm bringing back Major Militia. I want to bring back this team as a content team, a Gears of War team, maybe a Call of Duty team eventually, but primarily a Gears of War team and a content team is really what I wanted to bring to Gears of War into the community. And there's other Gears of War teams out there, guys, that do montages, things of that nature, and that's absolutely awesome. I just think that we need more content creators in Gears of War. We need more content creators. We need more streamers. We need those things to help really bring the numbers up so that Microsoft can see that, so that the Coalition can see that, so it greenlights more and more games in the Gears of War universe. And so that's why I'm pledging to do my part, guys. I need all of you out there to do your part as well in helping build this scene up. If you don't create content, that's fine, but always, supporting your favorite content creators, supporting your favorite streamers is very, very important. And so, obviously, guys, the best way in my mind is content, because that's what really helps the gaming and the esports ecosystem happen here. Is content creation, right? That's how so many of these teams, you get ticket sales based on content, not so much based on winning or losing. So that being said, that's how we can help grow the scene with the Gears of War collection or a Gears 6, whatever it might be. I'm going to do my part. I need you guys to do your part. What do you guys think, though? Is content king? Because in my mind, it's king, guys, when it comes to the Gears of War scene in particular, especially because we still have a small community. It's a niche community. Even though it's a big game, we still have a niche community. Let me know, though, what do you think is going to help build the scene moving forward in the Gears of War collection or Gears 6? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Gears of War collection content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. In this segment of the show, I want to talk about a game that I absolutely loved, but not everyone did. And obviously, guys, all video games are subjective. What I think's awesome or what I love, you may think is terrible or not like at all, and vice versa. Things that you might like, I may not think is that interesting or good either. And that's totally fine. And that's what makes video games so incredible, right? So I want to talk about, Gears 5 in particular here. Why did Gears 5 fail long term? Why was it something that failed? And, how can the coalition, Microsoft, us as the community, how can we improve moving forward into the Gears of War collection, Gears 6, and onwards? So let's talk about it. So, guys, obviously there's two major things that are going to dictate whether a game is very successful or not so much, and whether the game has legs or not. And so number one is going to be the sales of the title, and number two is going to be the reception of that game. And we talk about this a lot on the YouTube channel. But that being said, with Gears 5, according to Wikipedia, guys, Gears 5 has received generally favorable reviews according to review aggregator Metacritic. Critics praised the gameplay, campaign, presentation, amount of content, but criticized the story and lack of innovation. Many critics praised the game for being a successful return to form for the series. So, look. Obviously, in my mind, okay, when you hear that, sure, they're talking like overall it was praised for a number of different things, but then it was criticized for some of the story as well as the lack of innovation. And a lot of critics thought it was a really great return for the to the series, or return to form for the series. And I thought that Gears of War 4, in my mind, was great. I thought it was a great return to form in that way. Gears 5 kind of continued that in a way. And obviously, for me at least, I felt that Gears 5, from overall, as an overall game, I thought it was really good. Now, Metacritic, you had on PC, it got an 82 out of 100, Xbox One, 84 out of 100, and then the Xbox Series X, it got an 83 out of 100. Now, when it came down to the review scores, you had Game Informer gave it an 8.5 out of 10. You had IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. Now, on the lower end of the spectrum, you had Edge that gave it a 6 out of 10. So overall, when I look at the reviews, guys, the reviews were pretty good. Now, obviously, the reviews are going to be given, at first, when the game first comes out. Obviously, what happens when if you have, legs for the game. That being said, what are you going to do after the launch of the title? How are you going to bring people back to the experience over and over again? One of the things that the Coalition did was he had some big streamers stream the game when it first came out, that being like Ninja. He streamed the game for a little while. I would have loved if he was able to stream it longer. Nick Merck streamed it. Even Dr. Disrespect streamed it. And, it's like that was such a good launch in my mind to have, from a viewership perspective, having guys, streaming it, and all of us, we could have really built on that momentum. But a lot of those streamers didn't really like the game. Dr. Disrespect was pretty critical of it. Nick Merckx was critical. Ninja, it was kind of up in the air, but he just kind of moved on to other games after that contract was done with that. But, obviously I feel like we had something to really build off of. The launch for Gears 5 was not that great. And really, it seems like a lot of the Gears of War titles, they don't launch really, perfectly. There's always little issues here and there. But that being said, let's talk about the sales, because that's really money at the end of the day, guys. It's a business. So that's the number one thing. So during its week of release, Gears 5 retail sales in the UK were about 4.5 times less than its predecessor and placed in second place in the retail UK charts and fifth in Switzerland. The game was the seventh best-selling game in the US during the month of September 2019. The game was played by 3 million people in its first weekend, making it Microsoft's most successful first-party launch since Halo 4 and the biggest launch for Xbox Game Pass. So when you hear that, overall, it sounds pretty good. The couple of things that don't sound good, though, is the sales in the UK were 4.5 times less than its predecessor, that being Gears of War 4, which is unfortunate. And the game was 7th best-selling game in the US during the month of September. I mean, that's just, in my mind, I feel like it should have been, really close to the top of the charts when it's first month coming out. I feel like it really should have been, at least top 3, and it was the 7th best-selling. So that tells you something that obviously is unfortunate in my mind. Now, sure, part of that could be that it's only an Xbox exclusive. Xbox Game Pass, guys, is awesome, and I think that's going to really help with the Xbox, or with the Gears of War collection with Gears 6 moving forward. I think more and more people getting Xbox Game Pass is awesome. It's the best subscription service in gaming. It's not even close. I consider it the Netflix of gaming. So I think it's going to be a great, it could be another really good launch for the Xbox Game Pass. But that being said, obviously, when we look at those couple of things, I think that the sales were, certainly worse than that of the reception of the title. But overall, when you look at both of those things, I mean, you got IGN giving it a 9 out of 10. You've got, yes, it was the biggest launch for Xbox Game Pass for Microsoft. I feel like we're going to get more sequels, right? This definitely tells you that you're going to get more. But where I think Gears 5 failed, part of it's going to be put on the Coalition. Part of it, I think, needs to be put on the community. Because the Coalition, obviously, they weren't quick enough when it came to updating the game and doing the things that we as the community wanted them to do. However, the Coalition has their own vision for the game, so obviously there's going to be things that they want to do that maybe the community isn't fully on board with and things of that nature. But then the community, the backlash towards the Coalition was so severe, guys, and it's something that we can't do as a community, because a game like Call of Duty that's massive, if they hear a lot of backlash, sure, it's going to be one of those things where they're going to listen to what the community is saying, but a lot of times it may go in one ear, out the other, and it's not going to affect Call of Duty that much because it's such a huge game and there's so many different players of it. With Gears of War, when the community comes and does the same thing, the Coalition's going to hear that, and it's going to actually probably demoralize a lot of the guys and girls at the Coalition. That being said, they're going to be demotivated to even do things because it's going to feel like the entire community is coming at them for something or another. I just think there's a way that we can go to the Coalition and say things. There's a way that you can say it, guys. In anything, any aspect of life, I feel like there's a way that you can say it. There's a way that you shouldn't say it. And I think it's really important that we as a community come to the Coalition in a certain way and format. And so, that being said, that's where I feel, though, that Gears 5 failed, was down the stretch of time. It felt like they weren't updating the game quick enough. There was so much backlash from the community, and then the numbers started to dwindle because lots of people were starting to leave the Gears scene to go to other games. They were going to Halo. The pro players started leaving, and it just became a mess, guys, as a whole, with things that I feel that could have been controlled from the community as well as the Coalition. So moving forward, I feel that even though Gears 5, to me, I don't believe it failed, because I think it did well enough for us to get another, Master Gears War collection, Gear 6, Gear 7, all those things. I think that we as a community have got to be better at going to the Coalition and not only speaking our mind, but just the way that we say it has to be, brought down a couple of notches, I feel. And I feel like the Coalition, they got to do their part in updating the game and getting on those things a lot quicker moving forward. And I think that they will be better, guys. We need to be better. They need to be better. let's grow this thing. Let's blow Gears up, man. Let's make this an absolutely incredible franchise and something that we all appreciate and we all grow with it. Let me know what you guys think, though. Why do you think that Gears 5 failed in the long term? What do you guys think happened? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Gears of War content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. So I want to talk about Gears Esports, guys, but more particular than that, I want to talk about who we feel is the greatest Gears of War team of all time. And I think that this one is important. I want to talk about it because obviously with the program update that came out from the Coalition stating that obviously Gears of War is no longer going to have a Gears esports scene, at least for the foreseeable future. And so I want to talk about like who the greatest team was in Gears of War. Obviously, while we're thinking about, the program update that came out from the Coalition stating that the esports scene is going to be shutting down, at least for the foreseeable future, I want to look back and talk about who I believe the greatest Gears teams were that were assembled. And in my personal opinion, guys, I've said this for a long time, and I've always felt that the team that had explosive and mental were the two greatest players I feel that we've ever seen in Gears of War's history. Explosive, in my mind, was the best leader ever in Gears of War's history. I just thought that he was on another level, and I felt like they had such a good way of building like a super team around them. But obviously being the core, being mental and explosive, I thought that the other players that you got there, they've had a number of them, right? There's been so many that they've had as far as other role players and other players that could even be like superstars. I just have felt that those two guys were on another level to the field, and I felt like there's been some great competition in the Gears esports realm, but explosive and mental, really explosive as a whole, even mental. He moved on, to go to Halo. But even when he was playing in Gears of War, I mean, just an incredible force to be reckoned with. And explosive, he dominated, with mental, without mental. I just thought that he was like the core of, the best leader that we've ever had as far as from a Gears esports perspective. I thought he was just incredible. And so really those teams that they had with explosive and mental, whether it was with Optic or UIU, or there was a number of teams that they represented, I feel that those guys were the ones that really raised the bar for Gears esports, and I thought that they were the best without question. I just thought they did such a good job, and they were the absolute essence of what Gears esports was all about. The trash talk to the incredible epic moments to, I looked at explosive and I looked at, just a stone cold killer, man. Like this guy, anyone talk smack to him, he would use that as fuel to get his team and will them to victory, and did it on multiple occasions. I mean, just incredible. The winningest players ever, Ashes, the winningest coach ever in Gears history. Unbelievable, and I hope they're able to continue that success into whatever they do outside of Gears, but even hopefully they come back to Gears of War when Gears Esports comes back, hopefully for the Gears of War collection or with Gears 6. I hope that we get to see them again because it was such a special ordeal watching those guys play at the highest level of Gears and Gears Esports. But let me know, who do you guys think was the best team ever in Gears history? Do you think it was, like I said, the guys who had mental and explosive, or you think there was another team in particular that was better at any stretch throughout Gears of War's history? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Gears esports content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. The excitement is building, guys, for the next iteration of Gears of War and what we're hoping to be Gears 6. And we're getting more and more information, guys. We may be hearing more information actually in this month, that being the month of June, guys, at the Xbox Game Showcase. But let's talk about some things that are kind of transpiring here for Gears 6. So let's talk about it. So, guys, coming to us from an article written by Kate Harold of Gaming Bible. Gears 6 finally looks set to begin development. Gears of War fans have been praised for their patience. Gears 6 feels like a no-brainer. The franchise continues to be a huge success, yet 3 years after Gears 5 released, here we are with no new news on the future of the franchise. In all fairness to the Coalition, they have previously hinted as to why we have no news on Gears 6. The studio recently made the switch over to Unreal Engine 5 and said, shifting to a new engine is a big undertaking, so we want to be clear that we will not be announcing any new projects or titles for some time. Since then, some time has well and truly passed, and it looks like Gears 6 has finally taken an important step towards, or step forwards in the development process. So a recent job listing on the Microsoft website confirms that the Coalition are looking to hire a motion capture technician to work on the Gears of War franchise. No further entries in the Gears franchise have officially been announced, but the existence of the job proves that the Coalition are cooking something up. If a new Gears of War game is set to begin motion capturing, then it suggests that work on a script is well underway, so Gears 6 could be further into production than we originally thought. Recent rumors suggested that Gears of War might receive the Halo the Master Chief Collection treatment, but if this proves to be true, it's not a project that would likely require any mocap work. The Master Chief Collection simply bundled together several Halo entries with improved graphics, increased multiplayer maps, and additional multiplayer campaigns. Official confirmation from the Coalition would be nice, but there's no denying that something Gears of War related is coming. It's probably still a long way off, though. So let's talk about this. So a lot to unpack here. Number one, motion capturing. Yeah, you may not need to do motion capturing for a Gears of War collection. Obviously, with the Master Chief Collection, all it was, they bundled, together a number of Halo entries, guys. They improved some of the graphics, increased the multiplayer maps, things of that nature, and they could easily do that with Gears of War as well. And so I feel like this is something that absolutely could be happening for Gears 6, which is really, really exciting. There's, obviously motion capture is going to tell us that, hey, they're working on something. Now, is it for sure 100% Gears of War or Gears 6? I think there's a good chance of it. Could they be doing it for, a spin-off of Gears of War, or could they be looking for someone saying that it's in the Gears of War universe, but it's actually for their new IP? It's possible, but it's probably for Gears of War. So this leaves me with a ton of excitement, guys, because Gears 6 is probably somewhere in development for sure. The Gears of War collection, let's hope it's going to be coming out here in 2022, and then we get Gears 6 in 2024 or 2025. I'm very, very excited, guys, about the future of Gears of War. I hope all of you guys all are as well. I'll be sure to give you guys more information as it comes out. But what do you guys think? Do you think this means that Gears 6 is actively in development right now with them looking for a motion capture technician? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Gears 6 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the Gears Cast. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, guys. Helps out the YouTube channel in a massive way. Subscribe if you're new. That'll give you guys notifications every single time a new video comes out on the YouTube channel. Stay positive. Just keep grinding. And as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.